this week's edition of the Dixie Sun News at Noon. I'm Hannah Hickman.
And I'm Sarah Richardson. Thanks for tuning in.
The race is almost over for student body elections. Students attended a debate between all 5 student body candidates. At the debate, all candidates expressed their thoughts and goals for their platforms. Voting is currently open and ends at 3 p.m.
DSU students are gathering together to mourn the loss of one of their own. The Multicultural and Inclusion Student Association President Samuela Tupola suddenly passed away over the weekend. To honor his life, MISA is holding a candlelight vigil at the O.C. Tanner Fountain at 7:30 p.m. All are welcome to attend.
If you can't make the vigil tonight, MISA will be honoring Tupola next week during Diversity Week. Diversity Week is dedicated to celebrating DSU's entire student body, and all are invited to the events. Diversity Week will also include events such as a movie night, an open mic, a taste around the world, and a Pacific Islander showcase. The week will end with a celebration of Tupola's life. Due to the pandemic, student life looks different this year. Activities and events are canceled, and students are having a hard time meeting new people. Take a look at how students are really feeling throughout the semester.
I think this semester I'm doing a lot better than I was last semester because most of my classes last semester were Zoom, and so I've been doing a lot better now that I can go to classes and meet people and make friends. I think that's been helping my mental health a lot. Spending time with friends when I could, like making time for them, that helps me, and talking with my mom, calling my mom and talking to her.
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I'm not taking very many hard classes this semester. So I think I'm doing good stress-wise, but when it comes to staying sane, I guess, some tricks that I do is I try to get my homework done fast and on time and way in advance.
Just when tests and all that are coming up, normal stress. I don't know if it's a good stress or a bad stress, but take a break and go outside or go exercise, something to get away.
I was super stressed last semester. I have really bad anxiety, and so just the whole hybrid class was really bad for me, and it's still bad. I'm still having a hard time, but I just talking to my mom and talking to her more. I hardly talked to her last semester, and then communicating how I'm feeling. I usually just hold it back and keep it to myself until I break or have a super bad anxiety attack, which isn't good, and I don't like having those attacks.
If you are struggling with your mental health, visit the Booth Wellness Center at dixie.edu and schedule your appointment today.
DSU's free COVID testing is back. This week, the Gardner Center's ballroom hosts the Booth Wellness Center as they test students returning from spring break. The program Swap for Swag is still going, so students can get free DSU merchandise in exchange for taking a COVID test. Tomorrow is the last day of testing this week. The next round of testing will begin April 26th. Career Services is offering a series of seminars for students interested in specific careers. The upcoming seminars include an accounting speaker series and presentations by the U.S. Navy and Goldman Sachs. To find the complete list of seminars being offered and how to attend, visit dixie.joinhandshake.com and click on events.
Is to fill in the gaps between sometimes what we see on Google and what we try to put together in our own minds of here's how I'm going to be successful. So things like the Navy coming and talking about their medical program, right? We can Google things, but we may not know exactly what the steps to that are. Things like the career seminar are meant to kind of help you navigate the virtual recruiting world, make sure you can navigate LinkedIn and what that looks like, how to do a virtual interview, what can you expect during a time of a lot of virtual recruiting.
Although midterms have ended, Dixie Sun reporter Bailey Chisholm has some advice that can get you prepared for any major test.
As students begin their midterms, Dixie State University's academic resources swing into full gear. Students can meet with their academic advisors or visit the Academic Performance Center for any of the tutoring services offered.
Our Academic Performance Center, our Writing Center are seriously underutilized. We have so many tutors there, and some students feel like, well, I can handle it on my own. I can do it on my own. But really, we've seen time and time again how even if you're a good student, by utilizing those services, you become a better student.
The Tutoring Center is open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 8 and on Fridays from 10 to 5. One-on-one, study hall, and online tutoring is available.
Depending on what class it is, going to the Writing Center or the Tutoring Center or the Math E-Lab those are really helpful, if it's relevant to that class. Some of the upper division classes, it might not, there's not a tutor for that. But I think those are really helpful resources. A lot of people might struggle with time management, and that can prevent, good study habits. So just, creating a schedule of what you want to do with your time, that can help you prepare and, study better.
Both Decker and White encourage students to visit the Academic Performance Center, located on the 4th floor of the Holland Building. For Dixie Sun News, I'm Bailey Chisholm.
The Academic Performance Center and all other academic assistant programs on campus are available year-round and are free to all students.
An art show is being held in remembrance of an art professor, Glenn Blakely. The show includes work from his collection and pieces made by students in his honor.
Some of the students actually approached me and said, hey, we need to do something in his honor. And so I approached his family and asked if they would be okay if we did something this soon after his passing to set up a show. And they said that that's a great idea. And so I was able to get half of the items in the show are actually of Glenn or part of Glenn's permanent collection. And then the other half are pieces that students and faculty submitted to the show. So we wanted to have a show honoring Glenn Blakely and for his service and excellent artwork that he provided.
The art department intends on making the Glenn Blakely Art Show an annual tradition. You can find it in the North Plaza Gallery until March 23rd.
The name change bill has been signed, sealed, and delivered. Governor Cox signed HB 278 Substitute 1 this week, putting DSU in a position to officially change its name. With the assistance of a heritage committee, the university will announce a new name by November. DSU is now one step closer to expanding its campus. During the 2021 legislative session, Utah lawmakers allocated $15 million that would allow Dixie State to buy land in Desert Color, which is located next to the Utah-Arizona border. DSU plans to use this land to create new buildings for polytechnic programs.
A trip to Zion National Park may be a little easier now due to potential bus program. After years of discussion, the Washington County Commission has agreed to provide Suntran services from St. George to Springdale. The potential bus route now hinges on approval from the Department of Transportation. The bus route would not only use electric vehicles, but would reduce traffic on State Route 9, which millions of visitors use every year. You and I will have to take a trip once that bus is up there.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. I'm not sure if I would do anything like Angel's Landing. I am such a klutz, so I would be very nervous to do something like that hike.
I mean, there's all kinds of things we can do, and it's so nice that it's so close.
Yeah.
All right, after the break, Michael sits down with volleyball head coach Robin Felder. Stay tuned.
How does one become a trailblazer? It happens through pushing, through stretching, through shattering the norm. For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow and has become the fastest growing, most affordable, and highest ranked institution in the state. With 200 academic programs, small class sizes, and active learning education, come see why Dixie State was voted one of the best colleges in the West.
Welcome back. Volleyball's first year in Division I has ended with the 9-8 overall record and 8-8 conference record. That leaves the Trailblazers in 4th place in the Western Athletic Conference. I caught up with volleyball head coach Robin Felder to recap her team's season.
So what are your thoughts on finishing the first year of Division I better than predicted from other WAC teams?
I mean, it's exciting just because I knew we were going to come in and be able to compete right away, but I just didn't know how well, And so honestly, it was just good to see that we're going to be a force in this conference, just like I thought we were. And just to see the girls rise to the occasion, that was probably the best part, was that they were not afraid of anything. Like they played so fearless all year. And, even when we lost, I felt like we battled. And so that was good to see the girls really rise to the challenge.
Is there any particular player that stood out to you throughout the whole season or just maybe surprised you through the season?
Yeah, I mean, it was super fun because we had some youngsters in there and some newbies. Kate Hardy was a freshman that played most of the year. Live Tonga was a transfer that played most of the year. But I think, and they did a great job just being new to our system and new to Division I and new out of high school. But the person that probably stuck out to me the most, that was just solid day in and day out, did her job, leadership. That was Mckenna Nelson. She started for us last year as a freshman libero, and she just got better this year and better. And she just did her job, honestly, every day. So Mckenna is definitely one that stands out to me that just did a brilliant job.
I want to talk about Sydney Johnson just for a second, the only senior on this team. So what does she mean to you and this team, being here 4 years and being the only senior this year in this program?
Yeah, I mean, Johnny's one, I got super emotional at the banquet because I was like, I can't imagine the gym without Sydney Johnson in it, because she just is so electrifying. Her personality, her energy, she's so passionate about what she does, whether it's volleyball or hair or snowboarding. I mean, she's just a kid that does it all, and she does it all really well. So I think definitely we're going to miss just having her presence there, her leadership, and her work ethic. I mean, she's definitely the kid that's taking care of her body, taking care of her nutrition, taking care of stretching and foam rolling and everything. She's always been all in for 4 years. So I definitely think we're going to miss that leadership. But I'm excited to see who's going to step in and fill it.
I also noticed that Megan Trainer and Jordan Nelson were listed as seniors. Are they sticking around for another year of eligibility?
Yeah, they have that extra year. I know for sure Megan is, as well as Lizzie Clark. She was one that got hurt last year as a junior, did not get her season back. She had played too many games, so she's actually going to come back as a senior as well. And then Jordan, we're hoping comes back. We want her to finish strong. She was able to play in half the games this spring because she had her clinicals. So she was in the hospital 40 hours a week on top of trying to play home games. So I just want her to come back in the fall and just play and be able to relax. But I think it depends on honestly what's going to be best for her, and her career, and she's engaged. So there's a lot more to her right now than just volleyball. But we are hoping she'll come back in the fall.
So how key would it be for these three seniors to come back and just have that leadership and D1 experience now to come back?
I think leadership is the biggest thing. Jordan and Megan are both captains and have been for the past 2 years. So just that leadership that's rock solid. These are performers that show up day in and day out. Lizzie, I think, is just getting healthy again. So for her to come back and play her last year healthy and just feeling good is huge for her. So, I mean, if we can get these three kids to come back and just contribute to our team, it would be huge for us.
A lot of potential for DSU volleyball to continue making a statement in the WAC. After the break, I have the update on the rest of DSU athletics.
Beyond the park you know, exists a world you don't. A world that is greater. Greater than just one passion. Greater than just one adventure. Greater than just one moment. Come to where life is greater. Come to Greater Zion.
Women's soccer is back home for an in-state battle taking on Utah Valley University. The Trailblazers will have high confidence heading into this matchup by picking up 2 victories over Chicago State University. The issue shut out the Cougars in both games, and for Willie Griffiths accounted for 5 out of the 8 goals for the Trailblazers. DC will face off against the Wolverines on Saturday at 5 p.m. at Greater Zion Stadium. Baseball will have its first home conference games against the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley this weekend. The Trailblazers have high hopes heading into their matchup against the Vaqueros by winning back-to-back games. DC was able to salvage 1 game against New Mexico State University and defeated Brigham Young University on a walk-off single. A player to watch out for on the Trailblazers is senior Jake Engel. He has a .361 batting average, 1.194 OPS, and racking up 13 hits. DC will take on UTRGV tomorrow through Sunday at Brucehurst Field. Softball is geared up for another showdown with Weber State University to settle some in-state bragging rights. The Trailblazers are riding an 8-game winning streak, giving them all the momentum going up against the Wildcats. DC previously defeated Southern Utah University, and it was an offensive showcase in this doubleheader matchup. A standout player for the Trailblazers was outfielder Hannah Hubanks, going 5 for 6, 4 RBIs, and 3 walks. A great offensive showing from second-year player. DC will play 2 games tomorrow against Weber State at 2 and 4 p.m. at Carl Brooks Field. Men's goal will be looking to have a bounce-back performance at the Oregon Duck Invitational. The Trailblazers previously didn't play their best at the Grand Canyon Invitational, placing in 14th place. DC finished with a total of 314, and its best golfer was junior Brock Nielsen. He finished tied for 42nd place at +8, 221. Let's see if Nielsen can help the Trailblazers to a better performance next week. Women's golf will try to rally back in the Northern Arizona Red Rocks Invitational. The Trailblazers' previous events were shortened due to weather and finished in 14th place as well. DC finished with a total of +103, 679. A standout golfer from the match was freshman Kaylin Sakamoto. She finished tied for 73rd at +24, 168. The Trailblazers will be competing on Saturday through Sunday at Sedona, Arizona. DSU football has a Big South showdown this Saturday going up against Kennesaw State University. The Trailblazers will look to overcome a tough loss against fellow FCS Independence member Tarleton State University. The Texans would not let DC get the best of them for a second go-around, and they made the Trailblazers pay through the air with 347 passing yards. TCU wide receiver Tariq Benson snagged 12 catches, 202 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns, including this nice catch over Darius Nash. What a catch nice catch from Benson. DCU's offense couldn't piece together a drive to score points early on in the game. By the time the Trailblazers put points on the board, the game was already out of reach. The Texans defeated DSU 15-37. The Trailblazers will be on the road on Saturday to take on the Owls. Oh man, Kennesaw State traveling all the way to Georgia, number 9 ranked in the FCS conference. Oh man, it's going to be a tough game, but I can't wait to see how the defense stands out for DSU.
Yeah, and throwing it back to baseball, it seems like they're finding their groove. They got those 2 back-to-back wins, so we'll see how they're going to do, and a little bittersweet end for Sydney Johnson leaving women's volleyball.
Right. There are tons of home games coming up and football, not this week, but the next week is having a home game. So there's lots of opportunities for Trailblazers to get out there.
Yeah, come on out, DSU fans. we got to, come on, jump around. We got that new scoreboard in Greater Zion Stadium. Let's get it, baby. And that's it for this week's edition of Dixie Sun News at noon.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.